Now we are joined to discuss the efforts at brightening Senator Rabiu Musa's Kwankwaso's chances in the South and expectations from Saturday's election. We are joined by the NNPP Vice Presidential candidate, Bishop Isaac Idahosa. It's great to have you on Newsday. Very warm welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Right, let's get straight into it. I know we had your spokesperson in studio just the other day, and one of the questions top of mind is, we've seen several polls throughout this process, and although NNPP's candidate has been favored as a frontrunner, we haven't seen him come out tops of any of the polls. Is this a concern for you, and where do you think some of the lapses are when outsiders are analyzing from the outside looking in? Why do you feel that they don't see the NNPP as the number one, potential to be number one at the polls?
Well, who is behind the polls? That's to start with. How unpartisan are they? Number two, you see, we are grassrooted. 90% or more than 90% of our electorates and those who will be voting for us are off Twitter, Facebook. But we don't do the conventional way of going to state capitals to hold rallies. We go from town to town, village to village, local government to local government, conducting and canvassing for votes. And like I did mention much earlier, that is the greatest shocker that is about to shock Nigeria, our emergence. So we are not about the polls, we are about the reality. And here comes the 25th of February, where all are sundry, and those that are to vote will vote the right person. The right person in the sense that we are out for the people, for what we call the Talakawas, the mercies. And our manifestos are geared towards the mercies, to ensuring their lives are empowered to be improved and get belonging, call for security, call for unity, because there's so much diversity and we are so divisive. So the first thing we'll have to bring to play is to ensure that we are one. We have to have a nation first before we begin to think about governing it. So we are a party to what? We are a party to big, and we are the big thing that will happen on Saturday.
Well said. I must say, I was doing some reading about you, and I read about how you went to pay Dr. Kwankwaso a visit thinking it was going to be a Salah celebration, and then you ended up being his running mate. Just wondering, based on how religiously polarized and divided, like you said, we are, how your role, how having you as a running mate has boosted his chances of actually becoming president, bearing in mind the religious polarization that we experience in the country.
He's a man that believes in equity, fairness, and justice, and so thoughtful of him to balance his ticket with a Christian. That is to say, he's not a religious bigot. A couple of times he's been to our churches to worship, not even tying it to any politics on normal days. So he's a relational person. And the body of Christ have been able to arrive at a point that Kwankwaso is a man of the people, not based on where he's from, where you are from. At the point when he was a governor, he offered scholarship to over 3,000 people, not minding your religion and not minding if you're an indigene. Once you're in Kano, you're a resident in Kano, and you meet up with the prerequisites, you are offered scholarship. So such a man, such a beautiful, listening, selfless man Kwankwaso is.
But it's hard to miss. You are a bishop, right?
That's right.
I'm asking how you think that has impacted his chances.
A whole lot. A whole lot. You see, again, we want to go beyond religion, even though it speaks, it counts, beyond religion. A whole lot of twist has gone in there. Before I came on board, it was just one way. My coming on board has just brought about an equilibrium to the whole stuff. Because those of my faith, too, again, I want to say we are not emphasizing on just faith, but we can't rule it out. But then, you see, it's been a lot of, some are trooping into NNPP based on that and beyond that. My competence and the character of my principal, the antecedents of my principal. So we can keep on talking on and on, reason why. So it's beyond religion, beyond ethnicity. We just want to look for capacity, competence, ability, and courage.
Right. Now, sticking on to the theme of possibly, being a unifying force, so you're a unified force, the NNPP has been called the fastest growing party in this particular election. Now, before we came on air, we were talking about African politics and past African elections. We spoke about Kenya, where there was a close race. That ended, one of those very close races ended in a handshake, almost a government of national unity of sorts. We looked at Zimbabwe. Again, one of those close races ended in a government of national unity. Do you think that what is best for Nigeria in this upcoming election, given what you've seen on the trail as a candidate from the southern part of the nation, teaming up with Kwankwaso, do you think that what Nigeria needs right now is an outright winner? Or do you think that a government of national unity is most likely going to be the more feasible and unifying way forward for
Two ways to this. If there's going to be an outright winner, take my word to the bank, it's the NNPP. And I can tell you this for free, but then we are so open-hearted. We want Nigeria to unity nullifies uselessness, and when people are united, a whole lot can happen. And bring in the best of brains to form your government. That way, just like when Obasanjo brought in the likes of the whalers to bring about the revamping of economy and even the cancellation of our debts, you don't have it all alone. There must be something you will need to borrow a leave from someone to come in to ensure. You see, Nigeria will move faster if we don't mind who takes the credit. So coming together goes a long way to progressing this nation. Number two, should there be a reason for a runoff? That is to say, we are debunking seriously those who are thinking that NNPP at this point will collapse their structures. And those are the kinds of psychological warfare complexities, peddling rumor that have no basis, and I'm here to debunk it. We are not about to collapse our structure. No reason for that. We are too strong a party too, except if anyone wants to collapse their structures for us, but we are determined to go headlong into these very elections come 25th of February. And then afterwards, if there's no clear winner, then a runoff is possible. We'll now sit down, take stock, and know which way to swing.
I'm curious. I mean, I hope things, for your sake, I hope things go the way you plan that they will go on Saturday. But in the event that this doesn't happen, in the event that you do not emerge victorious, I know you've made it very clear that this NNPP will not collapse. But what's next for you?
What's next if
you don't emerge victorious?
If we don't emerge and it's free, fair, credible, why not? We'll accept our fate. But I'm saying it's almost impossible for us not to emerge. And if there should be maybe a runoff or a second ballot, then we're going to sit down because we will have the strength. We are the oxygen of this very election. Others are gasping for air, so we are giving to them free oxygen to take.
I understand, but your principal has also admirably said that this is not a do or die affair for him. So in the event that it doesn't go your way, I'm asking what's next for you.
For me,
yes,
as a
you,
person.
Not as a party, you as a person.
Oh my word, I preach every Sunday. I say hold on to my first calling, my first love, and that is to serve God's people. And so it's going to be wonderful to find out that, of course, then I give my whole time into it. You see, one thing about the church is that it's dynamic. And even if I'm not there, I talk to them via the Zoom services, and now they will now have to see me physically. So it's going to be a nice thing to reunite again with the church and move on with the banner of Christ.
Now, your principal shared how it came across as though he was relieved that the current Naira scarcity policy has leveled the playing field, so to speak, by making all politicians poor. What is your position on this particular crisis we're in facing the currency? I understand it possibly plays into your favor as fingers have been pointed at various politicians across the political space who have alleged to have hoarded huge sums of money. So I understand that it plays in your favor by leveling the playing field in that way as a party that came with humility and said, we are not here to use money as our tool. However, as much as it benefits you, what is your position on what's currently going on?
Now, it's a very good policy, but the timing is what we have been talking about. Anything that concerns the mercies concerns us. We feel that's why we go by road. Most of the times we're on the road campaigning to feel the pains, the infirmity of people, so as to be able not just to be told, but to be there to feel their pains. Now, it's difficult to say how things go today. That even the other day I learned Ojikalu, the former governor, said he couldn't cook at home because no money and what have you. The rich also cry. That's exactly what it has come to prove. Now, the policy is good to mop up money. So many have stacked money in billions, if what I'm hearing has anything to go by. And why are people crying foul? Why are they crying foul now? The only thing is that it's just for a while. You can see the dollar is losing its grip over the naira. So if we allow these things to flog, we are going to find that inflation will drop considerably. And we're going to find that strength has been given to the naira. And so much so to say about that, but not to say that we are not suffering. They should allow the money, the new notes to circulate so that people, I was just coming from VGC and I found a lot of people queuing at the ATMs just to have their money. This is an eyesore, it's not good. Let them improve on having to see that there's circulation of cash, that's the new notes, so that people can gain access to their hard-earned money. That's all we're talking about.
Now, in terms of the mandate or of the NNPP, we know a couple of days ago a faction of the PDP dumped the party in Kano and set up shop with you. Just wondering what you think that says about how much acceptance observers from other parties or politicians from other parties are seeing, the value that they might be seeing in the NNPP. Were you shocked by them leaving the PDP for your party at this time?
We foresaw this coming, and another shocker is going to come before even the elections.
Want to tell us?
Yeah, no, I just want to kick that right to my chest. Talking about collapsing, even the so-called, among the three you are talking about, you will see what will happen so soon and so fast. Between tomorrow is a Thursday, isn't it? Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, you will see a whole lot of collapsing into NNPP. I got the pleasure to welcome thousands of PDPs and their structures into NNPP, and you know why? Once you know one who has had an antecedent, who has you at heart, it's not difficult for you to give in to him. That's who Kwankwaso is. A man who has been proven when he was a governor, more experienced, a man who loved the mercies. You see, we were there at a point where we had to step out from the cars and then walk with the people. How many of them will do that? They have skeleton in their cupboards. We have been proven. I've been pastoring for 33 years, for crying out loud, over 3 decades with the people. And check out my antecedents. Not about now, we've been doing a lot of charity works. And these are the things we bring to bear, to feel the feelings of the people, because we were once there. And we always want to do with them. So when we saw thousands of the PDPs in Kaduna just trooping into us in mass, we could not even finish. I was putting caps on them to make them more, the umbrella has failed them, the umbrella, so much holes, rains beating them. So we're giving them solace so they can have some fruits for their labor.
I certainly wish we had more time to delve further, especially into the impact of your contribution, your addition to this race in the southern region. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have today. Foundation of Philanthropy and the passion for education. We look forward to seeing how that will play out for the NNPP on Saturday.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.